William Shatner. We all know the name, but when you think about him, you don't normally think of him as a hard-hitting interviewer. But that's exactly what he's doing now. He's going to bring us a conversation he had with Lee Malvo, one of the DC snipers. Why? Well, it's a sneak peek at his new A&E series called Aftermath, about what happens when people are transformed from unknown citizens to household names overnight. Take a look.
Lee Malvo.
Yes, Mr. Shatner.
Lee, how are you doing in there?
I'm doing okay.
Lee Malvo was just 17 years old when he and 41-year-old John Muhammad carried out a 3-week-long terror spree that brought the D.C. area to its knees. 13 people shot at random in the fall of 2002.
And have been on the end of either watching someone die or killing someone in so many different circumstances, mowing the lawn, on a highway, and at any time, you can die.
It was a well-thought-out plot masterminded by John Muhammad to wreak havoc.
6 slayings a day.
Please, we have a lady that's been shot. We need an ambulance at the corner of Walls and Connecticut. Hurry up!
He wanted people in terror. He wanted people talking about this. He wanted people worried. He wanted to disturb the entire area.
But their deadly activities began long before the duo reached D.C. Malvo says there were some 40 other shootings across the country, and that John Muhammad carefully trained him to be a killer.
He would train me to do a crime, and then he would watch the crime, and then evaluate me after it was finished, and we'd work on the next time, what was wrong, what I need to change, emotionally, in my approach, in my tactics.
He was approaching it like this is how you make a better killing.
Yes.
And Malvo claims the original plan was for the 2 DC snipers to be joined by others.
Lee, was there anybody else involved? Were there any co-conspirators?
There were 2 other people who were supposed to be involved, but in the end, they ended up backing out. See, what was supposed to happen was that there was supposed to be 3 to 4 snipers with silenced weapons, silenced rifles. And in this way, you could do a lot more damage along the entire eastern seaboard but in the end, it was only Muhammad and myself.
Amazing to hear his voice. Malvo was sentenced to life without parole for his role in the Washington area sniper shootings. Now, Mr. William Shatner isn't just giving us the clip. There he is right now, joining us from L.A. with more details about this astonishing conversation. Mr. Shatner, thank you for joining us. Good luck on the new series.
Thank you. It's on Monday nights on Bio Channel at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, depending on the time where you are. It's an extraordinary series of people, but it premieres tonight on the A&E, so it's a little confusing. A&E at 10 o'clock tonight, the DC Sniper, which is the beginning of Aftermath on Bio Channel on Monday nights.
And when is it on?
Monday nights on the Bio Channel about 10, 11 o'clock, depending on where you are. This DC Sniper story was the most extraordinary thing I've ever been a part of. We had planned to talk to him many weeks prior to the conversation, and it was going to happen on a Wednesday or a Friday from 4 to 6. And so I was in my office, we had a camera and we mic'd and all that, the producers, the directors, and we sat there from 4 to 6, day after day for months, really. And on the last day that I could do it, the last day before the show had to be locked, the phone rang, and there was Malvo. He had access to one phone, several prisoners, and he couldn't get to the phone from with the convenience that we could if he were free. So it was an extraordinary event to talk to the man around whom we had built our show.
So how are you adapting to this new role, excuse the pun, because you're asking real questions. Often this is going to be a one-take situation, a little bit of an uncomfortable role. How are you finding it?
Well, it's extraordinary. It's and exciting because you don't know what's going to happen. I get to talk to Bernie Getz, the subway vigilante, who at one point in the hour pulls out a gun, a fake gun that we had supplied, and shows me how to shoot 4 people as quickly as possible. I talked to Jessica Lynch, who describes what it was like to be lauded as a heroine, and then she has to decide to tell the truth. I talked to Dave Kaczynski, the brother of Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who has to turn his beloved brother in when he realizes he is the Unabomber. Time and again, talking to these people who are revealing things about these crimes that happened some time ago, the aftermath of which we're following, and it turns out to be utterly, I can only come back to the word, fascinating.
What did you make of Malvo? So young when this happened, but again, such heinous acts that he participated in over such a prolonged period. But how did he strike you?
Here was a kid who was brainwashed. He was a malleable teenager and lacking love in his life. John Muhammad supplies the love and influences him to become a killer. And he becomes a cold-blooded killer at the age of 17. Now he's in jail. And now he begins the turmoil in his mind. I ask him at the end, will God forgive you? And he says, if I can forgive myself. The turnabout, the fact that remorse creeps into his life, the fact that I talked to 3 of the victims, 2 of whom can forgive and get on with their lives, but the 3rd victim can't. So we talk about forgiveness, and it all links up. The victim and the perpetrator are all linked inextricably by these human emotions.
I think one of the best selling points of this series might be your excitement about it. I mean, I've talked to you several times, but you seem genuinely moved by these conversations.
Aftermath, which is on Bio Channel on Monday, but a special on A&E tonight, is one of the most exciting things I've ever done. I am totally immersed in the idea and looking forward to following through with more people and more events that occupied our attention 3 years ago, 5 years ago. What happened to those people? That's what we follow.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Mr. Shatner, thank you. A pleasure as always. Good luck with the series.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to having your viewers watch it.
It's interesting, a little extra information there about how Malvo said there were supposed to be more shooters, not just him and Muhammad. So we'll see what else we learn when the show comes on. Confessions of the DC Sniper with William Shatner premieres, as he said, tonight on AE.